Hi, Dave here, bringing you another great recipe that you can make at home. Today we're going to make a 5-pound batch of breakfast sausage. We got our pork trim ready here. We used 5 pounds of pork shoulder or pork butt. We're going to run that once through the fine plate or fine grind it once. Add our seasonings, then I'm going to run it a second time through the fine plate. This also works really good with wild game, but if you're going to use wild game, make sure you use 30% fat in it. So roughly a third should be fat. If you don't have access to fat, you can always do 50-50. You could use half pork butt and then half the wild game, but make sure your pork butt's got plenty of fat in it. Okay, we have got our first grind done here, so we're going to add the seasoning to it. You're going to need 2.5 tablespoons of salt, half tablespoon of white pepper, one tablespoon of ground sage, half a teaspoon of ground ginger, half a tablespoon of nutmeg, half tablespoon of dried thyme. Chop that, make it a little bit smaller. Usually it comes, if you buy dried thyme in the store, it comes a little bit big, so I like to chop it down, get a little bit smaller, mixes in better. 1 cup of dried milk, and 1 cup of water. We'll get that mixed up real good and we'll put it through the second grind. Got the second grind done. Seasoning's all mixed in. I'm going to stick it in the freezer for about an hour. I'll check it an hour, make sure it's stiff enough to wrap. And then I'm going to roll mine into, and you can package it in a 1-pound package, 8-ounce package, whatever you like. I'm going to roll mine into logs, and that way I'll get it, put it in the freezer again, get it really stiff, and I'll wrap it in the logs, and that way when it's frozen I can throw it in the microwave for 30 seconds and I cut off patties off of it, and that way you can use whatever you want for what you're going to use for breakfast on that day. Okay, our sausage has been in the freezer for about an hour. It's stiffened up real good, so it'll be easy enough to wrap. Otherwise, it's pretty sticky after you first make it, so it's best to freeze it or get it chilled down real good first. You can wrap it in 1 pound, 8 ounce, or whatever you like. I like to roll mine in logs. I'll do 8-ounce logs. That way, when you go to use it, you freeze them in a log. What I'll do is lay them out on a pan and throw them in the freezer until they get real hard. A lot of times I'll just leave them overnight, or 2 or 3 hours would be good too. That way you got logs like that. Get them wrapped up, and when they're frozen, you throw them in the microwave for a half minute to a minute, depending on your microwave. And it'll be thawed out enough to cut without mushing, and you'll be able to make a few patties. Maybe you only need 3 or 4, maybe use the whole thing, but it's real easy to make the patties that way. You can get your hands all sticky. You're just slicing and frying them that way. Until next time, have a great day.